Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 276 of a year of change. Today, being Tuesday, I know we normally add a new YouTuber onto the channel, but I'm not going to do that today. This week, where we're sort of changing our focus a little bit, I want to sort of pay a little more attention to the exercise aspect of it. But I still want to deal with YouTube stuff, because this is our Tuesday, and I don't want to just change everything all at once. So, as you may have noticed, over the past few months, I have yet to put up any exercise videos. Not of myself doing it, obviously, but other people. There are a ton of them out there that you can go and you can look up on YouTube, whether it's, just starting out for cardio or starting out for weights, beginners workouts. Some of them I've seen that are beginners workouts are just, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. It's not a beginner workout for anybody. I don't know where they're getting the beginner thing, where they're saying, okay, so we're going to climb 2 mountains and ride 500 miles and then slay a dragon and you'll be fine. Anyway, it's something that I've never really put up because, there's a number of reasons. Number one, said this right from the very beginning, what's going to work for one person is not going to work for everybody. And although exercise in general is going to work for everybody, people are going to start at different levels. There are some videos that are out there that there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do them. And then there are others that I've watched that I think, I'm doing kind of more than that now. So I don't want to put something up so that it's just going to be really designed for a very few amount of people. Very few amount of people? Very small amount of people. The wee happy few. Anyway. In general, everyone's at a different level right now. Now, months ago, when we first started doing exercise, it was really sort of on the back burner. It was, just get moving. It didn't matter what it was. For me, I found that walking was my thing. I had always gone for walks with friends and stuff, so it sort of makes that connection. I like being outside when there's no one there and it's nice and cold. I like that. So that was sort of the thing that I went to. And then when I thought I really want to get into it, that's when I got the treadmill, and then it was a coat rack for a year. And then I thought, you know what, I should probably start using it and getting my money's worth out of it. But I started out very, very, very slow. When I first started doing it, in earnest anyway, and saying, you know what, I'm going to start using this now. Then I was going for about 15 or 20 minutes at a time at about probably 2.5 to 3 kilometers an hour. To give you an idea, that is about how fast you would go if you were sort of wandering along the beach and you didn't really have anywhere you needed to be. You didn't have to go anywhere. You had the day off and you just had taken the moment just to go, you know what, I'm just going to go for a walk. I don't care where I go. Just that nice leisurely pace. That's about how fast I went. And started out at 15, 20 minutes, somewhere around there. And then gradually started increasing it. And then, a week later, I would go to 3.5 kilometers an hour. And then the week after that, 4 kilometers an hour, until I was just at a regular walking pace. Then I started working on the incline, and I started going up by 0.5 degree, and then 1 degree, and then 1.5 degrees, just week by week. And then once I finally got to a point where I was just sort of struggling and I was leaning too far forward and it was making my back all wonky, that's when I dropped it back down and decided I was going to start doing the jogging thing, and that's where I am now. So, and it's taken me a long time. It's taken me weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to get to where I am. But it's not going to be the same for everybody. When we first started doing this, it was really a matter of, just get moving. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's moving your arms, if you're bedridden and you have something that you can, not even lifting weights, just getting moving to a point where, you're mobile. And then, a few weeks down the road, add some weight to it or something, or try to get out of bed, or try to whatever you can do. It doesn't really matter. And for me, it was just as long as I made some little improvement week by week, it didn't matter how small, then that was the main thing. That's as long as I was making progression, I was happy with it. And so trying to put up a video for exercise is really difficult because it might be something that is far, far too advanced for almost all of us. But then you also run the risk of it being something that's so rudimentary that you think, you know what, I'm doing more than this, and half the people are doing more than this. There could be, a lot of people that even that is going to be so difficult for them. But you don't think of it because everything is just sort of relative to where you stand. So if I was going to do that, I probably should have done that at the very beginning, but I knew that the exercise portion of it was going to be sort of near the end because the food really was the most important thing. Just changing how we view it and how we react to it and everything else. So there are a number of people that we've seen over the past few months that they have their sort of go-tos, and they've mentioned in their videos different people that they go up to watch their exercise. And it runs the gamut from everyone from people that are, professional, I would say professional bodybuilders, compared to me anyway. They look like professional bodybuilders doing their exercise on a daily basis, and they're saying this is the beginner's exercise. And then it goes on the far end, the ones that I find to be actually the most helpful, and for lack of a better term, the most motivational are the ones where the people that look like me, people that are like 200, 300, 350 pounds, that are doing the exercise because they're just starting out. And there are those out there that you could find that, are people that are our size that are actually doing the exercise. So you can look at it and say, you know what, if they can do it, then yes, I can give it a try. I should be able to do this. And it's going to be difficult when we first start out. Obviously, it's going to be. And, I mean, at this stage, it's sort of generally assumed that we have been doing something. We've been gradually doing a little bit of exercise every day. Well, every week, I should say. We started just 1 day a week. Actually, I think we just started out by just doing, take 1 day a week, and during the video, you can't stay still. I think this is pretty much where we started. And then it moved up to 2 days a week. And then it moved to, at the end of the video, and then make it a half an hour for 1 day a week, and then 2 days a week, and 3 days a week. So for the past few months, we've probably been doing something for half an hour, 3 times a week. If you haven't and you've sort of fallen by the wayside, that's okay. We've done a lot of focusing on food. A lot of food focusing. Focusi? The plural of focuses. Anyway, foci. Anyway, we've made our focus food for a very, very long time. So it's not a big surprise if you're going, I haven't really been doing any exercise. We're going to sort of start things off again, not just from scratch, because there are a lot of us that are out there that have been doing it. But even for those of you that haven't really sort of gotten into it, you did start at some point. So it's not going to be the same as just saying, no, we aren't doing anything. Plus, at this point, you've probably lost weight. It's going to be a lot easier to sort of get into it. So I'm kind of flip-flopping at this point, because I'd like to say go up to YouTube and find a video that you think that you can deal with, like for exercise. But there's too many of them out there. There are too many that they go too much too soon. There are some that are simply not safe. There are some, and I mean, generally there's that general warning that sort of goes out anytime you start anything. Before you start any exercise regimen, make sure you consult your doctor. Which is true. You really should. I didn't, because I was taking a leisurely walk. That's how I started. That's not an exercise regimen for me. An exercise regimen for me would be saying I'm going to join a gym, and they're going to say you need to do this, and I would do it. I would throw up. I would cry, go home, regroup, and go in the next day. But in general, what we're going to be doing, it's not really going to be an exercise thing. It's mainly just so that we start getting mobile and gradually start improving things. And assuming that we're even doing 1 or 2 days a week where you're walking, or you're moving your arms, or you're lifting weights, or you're actually running, or you're biking, or you're swimming, or whatever it is that you've decided to do, whatever you've found over the past few months, that is your thing. That's your exercise that you feel, you know what, I can stick with this one. I actually enjoy doing it. We talked about getting to a point where, doing moderate exercise and strenuous exercise, all that stuff. We're going to revisit everything again, because we've sort of been in spurts and starts over the past few months. So it's not going to be surprising if the majority of us are just kind of like, haven't really stuck with that as well as I should. I'm really dry. I don't know why. I think it's because it's getting to be winter here, and just the moisture is getting sucked out of the air. So when I talk, I'm just like, Anyway, I'm also going to try to keep this one so close, below 10 minutes. Yes, so I've had a number of people say that the videos are too long, and they're right. I got to bring them down a little bit. I've been trying for 9 months. It's not going to work because I have a whole bunch of stuff and I start repeating myself. Anyway, the main point I was trying to make today was that although I normally add something in on YouTube, there are so many of them out there. And there's no way I'm going to be able to say, this is the one that I think that I recommend, that I think people should be using, because it's going to just be so far removed from anything that the vast majority of us are going to be able to do, including myself. I might pick something that I look at and go, you know what, I can do this. But 6 months ago, No way. Wouldn't have been able to do it. And then 6 months from now, I might look at it and go, God, I could have done that in my sleep. So it's because it's so different for everybody, and I don't want to sort of send something out there and say, there you go, start watching this and start doing this, and then you'll lose weight, because it's not going to happen. But I would recommend that you go up and you take a look at some of the different ones that are up there. But be careful. There are a lot of them out there that say that they're beginner, and they're very, very advanced I think that when people say beginner, that they figure that it's just someone who is sort of normal height and weight, that they aren't taking into account people that still have another person to lose. I actually did the math on this, and the amount of weight that I have to lose, well, half of it left now, but the amount of weight that I needed to lose, that 150 pounds, I actually have a friend that weighs less than that. So yeah, I have to lose more than he weighs, which is really weird. But I have to lose an entire person. So I don't think they take that into account when they're saying, well, beginner and intermediate and advanced and all this stuff. I think that they're just looking at people that would be a normal, regular weight, so like a healthy weight, and that's what the beginning would be. So when you're looking for these, if you decide to do this isn't mandatory. This isn't something that you're going to go, oh, I've got to find a video, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do anything. We're going to be exploring a lot of different options over the next few weeks. This is just one of them, and where it's sort of a YouTube Tuesday day thing. Tuesday day? Idiot. Where we normally have focused on YouTube at that point, or at this. Oh, I can't talk at all. Anyway, on Tuesdays we normally do YouTube shit, so this YouTube shit is going to be different than the regular YouTube shit. There we go. That's better. So the stuff that we normally look at, we're going to skip, and I would recommend that you go up, and if it's something that you feel that you can do, that you find something that you enjoy, that you figure, you know what, yes, I can do that, and it doesn't have to be something that you're going to be, huffing and puffing and sweating buckets, for an hour long. It's an hour-long workout. I can't talk. Anyway, it doesn't have to be something that's going to be strenuous for now. Even if you have been if you've been doing something and you've been continually doing it, then by all means, stick with what you're doing, because it's obviously working. So stay with it. If you go for walks, if you go swimming or biking or whatever it is that you do, stick with it, because that's really what's going to keep us on track, is if we find, this is what I enjoy doing. I like the treadmill. I get about an hour in the morning where I watch TV and I can do my treadmill. I don't have to worry about anything else. And that's all I do. And then eventually I'm going to be able to tweak that the way that I need to, so that I'm actually just running a 5K, which still seems really daunting. But that's my thing. That's what I found. And, as the weather cools down, I find I like going outside more. So I might turn to that once I get down a little bit more, so people aren't staring and pointing going, ew. So, but if you decide that you want to do that, go up. There are a million videos on YouTube of people, and they're everyone from professional trainers to beginners to people that are like us that have decided, you know what, I'm going to film myself actually doing these exercises to show that you can do it when you're 2 and 3 and 400 pounds, that you can go out there, you can do some exercise. It is going to be rough. I won't lie to you. It was like starting out, even that 20-minute walk, after about 10 minutes, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's the hardest part, really, is just getting started. And even now, in the mornings, there are times when I think, I don't want to get on there. I always feel better afterwards, but just sort of getting going. But really, like when I first started at the very, very beginning, months ago, it was really difficult just to get that 20 minutes in, or even the 15. And then as I started increasing things, it was just, I'll skip it today and I'll skip it tomorrow. Well, I didn't do it for the past couple of days. It's going to take some time to get into a routine where you're going to enjoy it and you're going to stick with it. So if you are going to find something that you enjoy. If it's walking, outside, go do that. If it's swimming, go do that. Whatever you find that, and it doesn't have to be super strenuous. You don't have to go running marathons. Start out slow, and we're going to be doing that, and we're going to gradually increase as we go. So that's going to be a difficult thing, though, I suppose, is just getting it so that, we're saying, well, we'll increase it a little bit here, but try to cover all the different exercises that all of you are doing, because it's going to be different for everyone. Like anything, the only thing I can really talk to is cardio. I can't talk about weights because I've never done it. I've never really lifted them. I don't know what I would do. The machines confuse the shit out of me. I only know the treadmill thing. And even that, I'm not even really running. All I know is this is what's worked for me. This is what I've done. So I'm going to try to apply that to starting from scratch and going from there. And I know it seems like we're sort of backsliding a little bit because we have touched on this, a few weeks at a time. It didn't make sense either. A few weeks here and there. This is well beyond 10 minutes, isn't it? Shit. That's gone. I'm going to try again. Someone challenged me to keep this under 10 minutes. And it's not the first person to do it either. I'm going to have to try to do that. But, okay, we're going to summarize then. There we go. We're just going to cut this off here because we're going to be revisiting these things throughout the week. So go up, take a look around YouTube, see if you can find something that you may not. You may not find anything. But if you do find something that you look at and think, there, I'm going to try this. Try it for a few days. If you don't like it, you can move on to something else. If you do like it, then great. You found something, and there are other things that you're going to be able to find that are going to be similar to that you'll want to do. And if you don't want to do the YouTube thing, you can go outside, you can go for a walk, you can, if you're stuck in bed, you can move your arms, anything that's going to get you moving. And again, it doesn't have to be strenuous. You don't have to be out of breath. You don't have to be sweating. We're starting out. We're trying to find our footing here. The same way that we did the tracking with food, the very first week when we just ate whatever we wanted and just tracked everything to get used to that. It's the same thing with the exercise. Just getting into a pattern where we're doing it 2 and 3 days a week. It doesn't matter what we're doing as long as we're doing something. That's our starting point. And over the next 12 weeks, then we're gradually going to be increasing. And it's going to go a little bit faster than it was before because chances are the majority of us have still been doing that. We still have a regular routine that we follow 2 or 3 days a week. But we're going to be going back and looking at things that, we know more now than we did way back then. And although we tried to integrate some of it, we're really focusing more on it now. So we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. It's not going to be anything that's going to be daunting. It's not going to be anything that you're not going to be able to do. And you're not going to pass out and just go, this is too hard, I want to quit. It's going to be slow and gradual, just like the food thing. But it's a little easier for us now because we aren't carrying around as much weight. For the most part, we're probably healthier all the way around. We're breathing better. We're sleeping better. Just everything because of the amount of weight that we've lost, and we're eating healthier. It's going to be much easier to get into this than it was 6 months ago or 9 months ago when we were living on cake and pizza and cookies and all the other bad stuff and just constantly tired as well. So it will be a little bit easier to get into this, and that's why I don't feel quite so bad about moving at a little bit of a faster pace. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here for now because I really didn't tell you anything important or useful other than, hey, go watch other YouTubers, which is kind of a stupid thing to do. Come back, though. Like, if you find something, come back. We'll keep talking. We'll keep doing stuff. But at least that way you can go up and, there are a ton of different ones that you can go up and take a look at. As I say, I like the ones where people that are shaped like me that I can look at and say, okay, I know they can do it, so I can give it a try. It's a little easier to sort of grasp that than trying to watch someone that looks like a muscle person and trying to do what they do. No, there's just no way. I'm going to cry. Cook yourself and call it a day. But for right now, I'm going to leave this video here, so thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.